So what have I been saying? That 2026 is going to be our best year yet, and right now I don't have a voice. Oh my God, this is crazy. Second episode in a row this year that I'm having a problem, but I owe this to you guys. I'm going to power through this. I'm really sorry if my voice does not sound so great, but I owe this to you because, look, I could just not do an episode this week and nobody would come after me. Nobody would be really upset. But I want to start this year off, and I want to, even if I've got to power through this, I've got so much to teach and help you with. So yeah, this is the second episode of the year, and you might remember last week I came into the studio fully intending to make a very straightforward episode. It was going to be called Microdosing in 2026. Start here. I had an outline in front of me. I knew the topic pretty well. I thought I knew exactly what I wanted to say, but I couldn't get it out. I tried. I stopped. I tried again. I stopped again. Nothing was working. It sucked. It was really bad. Oh, by the way, quick note. Let me just interrupt this for 1 second. Before we go on, if you can stay with me until the end of this episode, I'm going to ask you to do something at the very end, one small but very important thing that can change how this year starts for you. So just remember that. Please stay till the end. It's very important. I really think it's going to help you. So you're getting back to last week. I felt as though I was stuck. The words felt flat. The energy wasn't there. Everything I was saying just sounded familiar and rehearsed. It just wasn't good. I just didn't feel true to this. And so instead of forcing it, instead of pushing through just to stay on top of schedule, I had to stop and ask myself why. What I realized is that I was trying to start 2026 the same way I've started other years, with information, structure, things I already know how to talk about. But after more than 4 years of doing this podcast, for some reason, it just didn't feel honest anymore. So what I did, I changed course. And more importantly, I told you the truth. I recorded an episode where I told you exactly what was happening. I was tired. I wasn't feeling well. I couldn't make it through the episode I thought I was supposed to make, and that I needed to say that out loud. I didn't know how that would land, but the response from you told me everything I needed to know. You didn't thank me for the information. You thanked me for the honesty. And that's when something really clicked. You see, over the past 4 years plus, you and I have talked about just about everything in the microdosing space. Dosages, schedules, tolerance, SSRIs, what works, what doesn't work, what to be careful with. You've heard it from me a lot, again and again, from every angle that I know. And I realized something that felt uncomfortable, but important. You don't need more information. What you need is more truth. I made an agreement with myself that 2026 has to be a special year for this podcast. Not just consistent, not just helpful, but meaningful in a deeper way. I've said that 2026 is going to be our best year ever, no exception. And if I'm gonna say that out loud, I've got to hold myself to it. And I truly believe that it will be. I'm going to do every single thing I can to make this the absolute best year for all of us. So that means no more recycled conversations just because they're safe or familiar, even if they've worked before. This year, we are going deeper. And to do that, we have to talk about what's actually underneath all of this. You didn't come to microdosing because you were curious. You came because most likely something hurts. You're exhausted. You feel lonely, you feel disconnected from yourself, from meaning, from a sense that your life actually fits who you are. And instead of being encouraged to say that out loud, we're taught to optimize, to fix, to push, to make it work. That's exactly what I was going to do last week, trying to force an episode instead of listening. When microdosing is treated with respect, it doesn't really help you optimize your life. What it does, it actually makes it harder for you to lie to yourself, and sometimes it makes it impossible for you to lie to anyone else. And this is where I need to be very clear. Some of the work we're doing in 2026 cannot happen in a public podcast feed. Not because it's wrong, but because it's personal. It's nuanced. It requires a space where you can be 100% honest without being misunderstood or judged. If you're actually serious about doing this work, not just listening, but actually changing how your life feels, you need to be in the room where those conversations can actually happen. And I'm going to say this, I know I've said it to you before, but that's exactly what our Patreon is. It's not extra content. It's the container where real questions get asked, real experiences get shared, and real support exists. And we do live Zoom meetings every week. You'll never again feel alone with this. And nothing is off base in Patreon. There are many things I can't talk about in this public forum. Many people ask me simple questions like, where do I get this medicine? But I don't talk about it here. So if 2026 is the year you stop skimming the surface and actually commit, you don't do that alone. You do it with us, a Patreon family who is totally non-judgmental, a Patreon family who finally listens and cares, and we help everyone. As a matter of fact, Wednesday, January, what is it? Wednesday, January 21st. I want to make sure that's right. Yeah, Wednesday, January 21st. We're doing a live meeting. We're having a very special guest, Rihanna, and it's going to be one of the most special live meetings we've ever had. I'm expecting really great attendance. She promises to be doing some things we've never done on a live meeting before. And also we're going to be talking about her medicine that she believes in and works. I'm excited. January 21st, if you've ever thought about getting into Patreon, I promise you now's the time to do it. We will not go wrong. And let me do this just to support people that have just signed up very recently, from the first of this year. I want to give a little shout out. Lee, Burr, Brett, Kimberly, Roberta, John, Melina, Lar, Linda, Sacha, Brian, Mikala. If I didn't mention your name, I'm sorry, and I will mention it on a future episode. I only give first names because we keep this totally confidential. The link is always in the show notes, as well as on my website, microdoseu.com. It's microdose with the letter U on the end of it, .com. Love to see you there. So getting back to what I was saying, this year, the biggest mistake you can make with microdosing isn't choosing the wrong dose or the wrong schedule. It's starting before you're willing to be honest. Honest about how unhappy you may be. Honest about relationships that may not be working. Honest about grief that maybe you've never processed. Honest about a life that looks fine on the outside, but maybe feels empty on the inside. There are many things, I just mentioned a few, but there are many things out there that I think we need to come to grips with this year, 2026. This practice gently turns up the volume on those truths, and if you're not ready for that, it can feel uncomfortable or confusing. But if you are ready, it can be transformative. So when I say start here, I don't mean with a capsule or a piece of chocolate or tea. I don't mean that. I mean in 2026, let's start with honesty. Let's start with 100% honesty. Start by asking yourself one quiet question. What are you hoping this will help you avoid feeling? That question isn't meant to shame you. It's meant to orient you. Because microdosing in 2026 isn't necessarily about becoming more. It's about subtracting what isn't true. Letting go of your roles that you've outgrown. Beliefs that you've inherited. Expectations that never really belong to you. And I truly hope you can understand what I'm saying, because my voice is horrible and I'm drinking some green tea as I do this. But again, I feel this information is really important and I did not want to skip a week. Now, let's slow it down just for a moment. Here's one thing I want you to do starting today. When this episode ends, don't open another app. Don't get distracted. Don't do something else. I want you to take just 2 minutes. That's all. Write one sentence. And here it is. The thing I've been avoiding admitting to myself is blank. And then finish it honestly. The thing I've been avoiding admitting to myself is what? What is it? And don't worry, you don't have to fix it now. You don't have to share it. You don't even have to know what comes next. You just have to tell yourself the truth. Because nothing real changes until you start admitting to yourself about what hurts. If you didn't hear my voice, because it went weird, about what hurts. I really can't talk. This is crazy, but I want to do this for you. That's how we're going to start 2026, with one honest sentence. So if you're willing to go deeper this year, I want you with me, and I mean that. I'm really glad you're here. Remember to check the show notes as well as the website. I've got a brand new episode every Wednesday, and this year, Dr. Denise puts out a women's episode every Sunday. So we've got a lot of information coming your way. I'm going to keep building on these episodes. I really hope next week I can talk. I hope my voice is better. I hope I feel better. But again, like I said, I don't want to take a week off. I could easily do that, but that'll put us behind 1 week. And I promise you, I gave you my word that this year is going to be our best year ever. And I'm going to do every single thing I can to make sure that happens. So please always remember, you are valuable and you matter. I'm Dr. Dave.